Lori Lightfoot, who lives on the same street as our boy Landon, by the way. That's why there's always cops outside. Did you know about that?
Yeah, I know
That's
that.
hilarious.
I
She
just found that out.
She lives over there?
She lives in Logan, bro. Maybe I shouldn't be divulging this.
No.
That's why there's cops outside her
Don't
house.
mention any streets, but do you ever notice the cop cars that are always hanging out?
You know
Yeah.
what? Now I think, okay, I do. Wow.
Always.
Huh.
We could be wrong, by the way, but that's
Right.
what I think.
We could be wrong. It's maybe a diversion. But anyway, so
I'm seldom wrong, though.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot
There you go.
is basically picking up the pieces from Rahm Emanuel dealing with this CPS issue, right? So they're trying to pledge an additional $2 million to grow the pipeline of critical really, it's about support staff.
Yeah.
Here's the crux of the thing. The teachers union really they want a bunch more support staff. They want a bunch more money, and they want more money for their teachers and better benefits.
Right.
Medical plans, things like that. Okay.
So here's the top 5, right?
Yeah.
I got them right here.
Nice.
Number 1, which would surprise you, because I think a lot of people, when they hear a teacher strike, they just think money.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not just
Like
that.
salaries.
Right.
The number 1 complaint is class sizes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in the
Reduce
research
class
I was
size.
doing on this, unfucking real. Some teachers reported having class sizes up to 50 kids
That's a lot of kids to manage.
without an assistant.
That's
How do you even?
How's anyone
So they're
learning?
trying to fight for elementary school classes to be no more than 25 kids, and high school, middle school classes to be no more than 28 kids. Which I feel like as a teacher, if I'm a teacher, number 1, shout out to all the teachers.
Yeah, for real.
Teachers,
Teachers.
you want to talk about saving lives, and stimulating the economy,
Absolutely.
and not there's bad in every single profession, but teachers are the lifeline, especially in a city like Chicago that deals with a lot of poverty. Talk about, bro, there's so many things we could get into with Chicago. You talk about Chicago being a big adversary for bringing, for being a safe city and all this kind of stuff. Do we even realize the homelessness problem in Chicago and the homelessness problem for young people,
right.
kids that are still enrolled in high school but that are homeless?
Right.
And you talk about a safe place for kids to be during the day, and then to give them a chance at a better life. How are they supposed to be educated? I can't imagine running a classroom and trying to be able to get through to 28 kids even. I mean, so that's the number 1 complaint. They're asking for smaller classes.
Yep.
Let's see. Wages was the thing. Here's what's really interesting to me. I did some research on the wages for the teachers in Chicago.
Yeah.
They make pretty damn good money.
They
They
do.
do. They actually do.
They're number 1.
They do.
In big cities.
Yep.
Which blew my mind. I thought, we were talking about because I come from a place where teachers make 25, 26 grand a year, right? They're a teacher that has 5 years experience is making in the neighborhood of like 78 grand a year. Damn, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
Not saying that they don't deserve it. I think they totally fucking deserve it. But I think that's great. I think they totally fucking deserve it. So that's part of it. They're negotiating on an increase for wages, but they were talking about an increase that would possibly bring in the next 5 years teachers that have 5 years experience up to 100 grand a year.
Yeah, I mean that's a
not-
good chunk of coin.
They deserve it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hell yeah.
they do.
In this city.
But what I'm saying, they
Yeah.
deserve it, but I don't know that should be a main point of contention when you're talking about shutting down schools and keeping kids from education.
I think one thing that's another misconception is how teachers they don't have control over their curriculum. And I think that is something that a lot of teachers going into the field of teaching, they don't know that until they actually get into, they get in with the school board and they realize they have no say-so and they're stuck following this guide. And they're not able to, deviate from that and actually help their children, excel the way they want them to. They're kind of just following this guideline. And I think that's a huge problem too. They want to do things. They want to try to be more organic and just have all types of different ways to stimulate these young minds. But they're not able to because the school board is having them with this generic, curriculum.
There's so many
a lot of it
things.
has come down to this statewide testing, and that being the biggest push, which is kind of ridiculous because I see it, and even my kids' lives, a big push always comes around this statewide testing time, and that's really does nothing to show it's not really about the kids. It's about the school and
No, it's about the
looking
school's
good
results,
and
looking good,
getting money and
So-
funding.
yeah,
and
100%.
It's so culturally biased, man.
Yeah,
that
it's
exam.
there's so much. We don't have time to get any of that, but
Yeah.
that is a whole topic of
Well,
research.
here's
that's been going on.
my long and short of it. I think that it's great that the teachers have a union. I think teachers,
Sure.
like I said,
They need it.
give them. My sister's been a teacher for 20 plus years. She just was promoted to principal of a bilingual
Congratulations.
of a bilingual school in Austin, Texas.
Nice.
Very awesome.
And she is the epitome of what an educator should be. She has not lost her enthusiasm. She's not lost her love for the kids and her genuine want to make these kids have a better life or enable them to do that. And I think that we've got way bigger problems in other areas of our financial demise here in Chicago. I think that the school system, and it's not really just about the teachers and their strike. It's really about the school system. But if this strike goes through on Thursday and an agreement's not reached, I think that regardless of who's right and who's wrong, the only people that suffer are these kids.
That's right.
100%.
And like I was telling you before, I
And
did
the
a little
parents.
research on what happens if they go on strike, and they've got these they've got these links to where kids can spend their day if the school goes on strike.
And how much it costs?
I'll tell you what, there's a few places that are offering it, for free, but it's only up to a certain point, and it's first come, first serve.
Of course.
But the places I was looking at that are offering refuge or a place for them to hang out during the day, $60 a day, $80 a day. I mean, that's who can afford that?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's ridiculous,
One
particularly
key
in this
thing
city,
is
yeah.
the schools will be open. By the way, the schools will be open. The kids can go to school. They still will offer breakfast and lunch, but they're
That's
basically
good.
going to sit around
which
in
is
the cafeteria.
which is a thing, particularly in certain areas of the city. I mean, fuck, some of those kids.
Yeah.
Like, that's some of the only meals.
Well, when
that
you're
they're
starting
gonna
to talk
really
about the homeless
kids.
population of kids that are still registered in school,
And-
they depend on that.
and kids from underprivileged areas,
Yeah.
South Side, West Side,
Yeah.
primarily,
Yeah.
right? Fuck, some of those kids, they don't get breakfast unless they go to school.
Well,
Sure.
I will tell you this:
Legit.
I'd be way
That's why
more
it's free.
way more in favor of pushing funds from Chicago through to this to the school district as opposed to some new museum.
100%. Yeah. Again, yeah. It's crazy how
It's
that.
bad for these schools here, man. Like
Yeah.
the selective enrollment for high school, these kids are just going from 8th grade to high school. It is so much pressure. It's more pressure than these kids actually getting into college.
Yeah.
These,
Oh God, I
these
can attest to
kids
you.
are, man, it's a lot of pressure because the CPS system is, let's face it. I mean, do you really want your child going to CPS nowadays?
Right, we just went through that with my daughter.
Yeah,
Let
man,
me
you
pose
gotta-
this. Let me pose this question:
Mhm.
the decision makers,
Mm-hmm.
where do their kids go to school?
Charter schools.
No. I think I think the charter schools,
Private
people, I
schools.
think people don't found out about the charter schools too. Charter's been having their issues.
They have been having their
They're
issues.
not
That's
going.
true.
Private.
People are not sending their kids to charter schools like they've been doing for like about a good 5-6 years ago. You got the private institutions, which I went to. Mount Carmel Stand Up. We are MC.
Oh, yeah. Mount Carmel.
Um,
Nice. Got a
Selective-
Bennett Red Wing over here, bro.
There you
Used to
go.
play you motherfuckers.
Yeah, y'all got crushed. And
No, well,
You guys are
not in soccer, bro.
Stupid.
hey, but that's okay. Y'all got a football team?
All right. We do.
Thanks.
All right.
So back to
Private schools.
All right, back to
Private
private schools.
schools.
Yeah.
leaders or decision makers, their children go to either the private schools or the selective enrollment schools.
Correct.
The Walter Paytons,
Yep. Jones.
the Jones, Sam goes there. We got him into there. The Whitney Youngs, the Lane Techs,
Not to say that if their kids were going to public schools that they would treat this. Well, maybe they would, but I think that when it really comes down to it, really just got to do, and it goes back to the politics. You just need to do what's best for the city. Come on, teachers union and city and city council figure that shit out, because if the kids are out, that's no good. For
Well, here's
them.
the thing,
It's
right?
not good,
So here's a big problem. So Mayor Lori Lightfoot,
Mm-hmm.
the Lightfoot, she's trying to foot fast is what she's trying to do,
Yeah.
but she found out that she's got an anchor on that foot, so she ain't she's not as light on her feet as
No,
she would
she's
like to be.
not.
And this is why Rom left it for her.
Also,
What a dick.
like the water meters too.
Oh Jesus! Let's not. Well, we can't get into too much stuff here, but she's proposed a plan to basically put some increases over a 5-year period.
Yep.
But all the teachers union is like, yo, we need the support for the class size, right? We need support. We need more administrative folks. We need more teaching assistants. Here's what here is legitimately
Counselors, school-like therapists or
counselors,
which
all
is
that.
critical.
They need all of those nurses. They're like, literally, the teacher is like, okay, you're saying that we need a nurse in every school, we need a counselor in every school, but we don't have the funds to even hire them. Now, here's a problem though. I don't know the statistics on this. It hasn't been in any articles that I found as of yet, but they're basically saying like, well, we're not finding a lot of qualified people to even fill these fucking positions. So, folks, if you want to go into a good career and you're a young person going to college, consider going into those fields because there are jobs. You know, everybody, this is a thing that's off topic a little bit. I don't want to get into it too much, but we have a whole education system that's like pushing, become a computer engineer. It's like, yo, there are like some legit jobs that will pay you very, very well that are not being promoted right now. And that's like a big one, right? There's
Plus, I know a ton of computer engineers that don't have careers.
Yeah.
Because it's just,
Yeah, exactly. And here, my mom is a special education administrator for a school district in the burbs. And she's told me stories of people and candidates that she's had to scour through. And they're just not up to snuff for what is required of them. And then you get folks who are in the jobs and they're not. There's a whole lot of things that are really are messed up. So, this is where we have this standstill, right? We've got things that are being asked for, and we've got the city who's like, we only have so much funds, and based on our research, we don't even know, even if we have the money for all this, we don't know if we can fill these positions. So what do you want us to do?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, and the amount of money they're talking about releasing doesn't even put a dent in the real problem. And I think that's probably part of the problem that the city of Chicago is facing is that they just don't have enough money to really make a difference. But I don't know. You got to figure something out. Yeah.
Or do they? Right. Exactly. Dun, dun,
Dun!
jail fans.
By the way, that's one thing that I was not used to when I first came to Chicago is union.
Oh, yeah.
Like we don't have union where I'm from.
Yeah, not in Texas.
Like I was a real estate developer in Texas, and when I found out how much union guys make for like doing sheetrocking and stuff like that, there's a reason why rents here through the fucking roof.
Yep, that is correct. Yeah, that's the one thing that
unions are great. I think unions
great.
are great in every aspect for protecting those workers, but I think everything gets out of hand.
As actors, we've got a union, SAG-AFTRA or
Absolutely.
Equity, right?
That's true.
There are certain standards that need to be held accountable for people working in
I just
tough
think
conditions.
that when either side takes advantage and pushes, beyond what is acceptable or reasonable, I just think it's doing nobody any good.
That's true.
That is 100%
right.
accurate. 100%.
Counterproductive.
Yeah, so we'll see
Hope
what
they figure that shit out.
Yeah, we'll see how things progress.
We'll see Thursday.
On Thursday, if it goes through or if they figure their shit out. It looks like, I
Apparently
think
Saturday was a good day. But
Yeah, I do think
I think
Mayor Lori Lightfoot is legitimately trying to find a solid solution based on what she's looking at.
Yeah.
She seems like she might work out, which is good.
I hope so.
I hope so too. She's
I
doing
hope so,
some
too.
good things. Most of the things I'm seeing she's doing, I'm happy with thus far. But this is a situation, and it's gonna look. This might be a growing pains situation, where it's like we have to tough it out until shit gets fixed, and it might be a generation or two before it does.
Well, she's got ganas either way, which is slang for like she's got balls,
right?
In Spanish, ganas.
Yeah.
So she's got balls either way for stepping into that position in this city.
Yep.
Anytime you do that in a city like Chicago, you inherit a lot of issues that you eventually could get blamed for or be be drug into. But hopefully she works out and that she's good for the city.
That's right. Yeah, and hopefully this situation gets resolved. We will post the links to some of the articles that we had for this, so you all can do some reading on your own, our valued listeners. And we may bring this up again after Thursday and talk about it a little bit more, give you an update. But this is a big issue in Chicago. This has been going on for a long time since Rom.
July.
Yeah, for a long time. So
this strike negotiation has been going on since like July, right?
Correct.
It's
yeah.
rough.
Yeah. In fact, I believe they postponed it before the transition.
Absolutely.
Ron was like,
Ain't
"Yeah,
that
we're gonna
something?
put this shit on hold."
I'm
Hey,
out.
Lori,
Yeah.
Lori, yo, you in? Tag in, yo. She
Yeah.
gets in the ring and she's
You got
like,
this shit.
she's got two big burly men running over. She's like,
Time out. Hold up. Yeah, man. Hopefully she pull it off.
Give me my harp and my Hermes shoes. Let me fly away.